darling. It's Michaela. So, I just wanted to share my weight loss journey at the moment. So, I'm going to be 49 next month, and I have a little weight loss goal of like 3 pounds, honestly. And so, this is something where that brings me to a weight that like feels pretty great, meaning that like I feel very strong compared to my weight strength to weight ratio. I feel like I look amazing. I look younger. Yeah, clothes fit well. Like things are good. So with that like 3 pound reduction is in what I want. I'm being a little more mindful of what I'm doing. And what does that mean? It means that I'm following our fat burning structure and I'm not rationalizing deviating from it for the most part. Anyway, additionally, because of that desire to create some change, I'm simply tracking shit more. So that means I'm weighing myself generally daily, and that's something I don't typically do, but it can be a good data point when we're trying to make something different. Anyway, the thing I want to say is, so I track my weight. There's a lovely little graph. And what I noticed in this graph, I mean, I lived it, I remember it, is that there are two really big spikes. And when that happened, basically it was around a carb feast, which is what we do, fat burners do with regularity. More carbohydrates, more calories, and what that does is it resets leptin levels. When we eat less calories and less carbohydrates, leptin naturally lowers, and this is when people can stall out with their weight loss, stick at a plateau, but basically it's leptin that needs to reset. So calories and carbohydrates will do that. Anyway, so perfect to do that. But what I did was I did that move poorly. And what that means is, so typically I eat once a day. A lot of my fat burners, more developed fat burners, will eat once a day. People in their beginning stages, frequent, and then twice a day, maybe forever. But once a day is what a lot of us do. But we get there. Anyway, so normally with a carb feast, it would be my one meal, and it would be bigger, and it would have more carbohydrates, and it would be freaking satisfying. Anyway, these two kind of rogue spikes that stayed, where I had to, again, like traverse down the mountain, were that way because not only did I have a lot of calories that day, but I spaced it out. So I ate 3 times on those 2 days that were higher that I had to, once again, come back down from. So I knew what I was doing wasn't a good move, and it wasn't really fat burning supportive. But the thing that was eye-opening to me was how kind of permanent that move was. So the reason why, so if you want to make weight loss easier, eat less often. If you want to make weight gain easier, if you want to make weight loss harder, eat more frequently. I ate more frequently those days and I gained weight, and it kind of stayed there. This wasn't just fluid, and the reason why was because my body could handle it. It absorbed it. So every time we eat, insulin is released. Insulin is a storage hormone, energy storage hormone. So it will take the food that you've eaten and it will store that sugar in your muscle cells, in your liver, and then in fat cells if there's a surplus. There's no room at the end. So the thing that's cool if you eat a lot of food once is that there's a limit to how much you can store. And what ends up happening is, as a fat burner especially, you have more energy than your body can actually store away. So what we easily do is we generate heat. We kick off more energy in an inefficient way, which is heat. Anyway, as opposed to eating a larger amount of calories over the day 3 times, and what that did was it gave my body the opportunity to store more. So essentially, I could handle those calories better by spacing them out. And so what did that mean? By handling it better, it meant that it actually stored them more efficiently as fat. So every time we eat, insulin is released. And the whole thing is that when we eat more frequently, when we eat more calories, when we eat more carbohydrates, basically more insulin is released and more insulin is present for more of the day. So the thing that was amazing about this to me was that typically, even if holidays are always carb feasts for fat burners in general, and that can be hours, right? It's like you go over to your family's house at, noon or 1 for Thanksgiving, and you don't leave until 6 or 7, and it's like you're kind of debatably eating over 5 hours, 6 hours. But that's still better than 10 hours, 12 hours. And that's kind of what I did. So when we have insulin present in our system, it will store as much as it can, and it will not enable us to use our own body fat for energy. When we have insulin out of our system, when we use less insulin, and when we have insulin out of our system, we have the opportunity, it lowers all sorts of wonderful things. It lowers inflammation, it slows aging when our body can actually do other things besides just digest. And then it gives us access to our own body fat for energy. So the moral of my story here is how versus what really matters. And the other thing is that being able to elect to eat less often is it's a metabolic setup. It's a physiological positioning to be able to do that. So when you're in a fat burning mode, you are less hungry, you don't have cravings, your blood sugar is super duper stable, your energy is abundant, and these are all signs of metabolic health as well. The flip side of metabolic health are dealing with things even like perimenopausal symptoms, visceral fat, high blood pressure, and then like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer. Like we can just go down this slopey slide should we wish. But the opposite of that is metabolic health, which is determined by the fuel that you're using and how you use that fuel, how your body interacts with it. Again, your blood sugar stabilization, your insulin sensitivity, your ability to use fat, your energy access. So that's what we do in Fat Burning Pro. When we go through a mitochondrial reconstruction, we literally have mitochondria that can use fat for fuel, and we both can elect to do certain things. I'm going to eat once versus all the frickin' time, or even 3 meals a day. And I am improving my situation for now: easier weight loss, harder weight gain, slowed aging, more energy, and then I'm also improving my situation for the future in terms of staving off illness, feeling strong.